Welcome back from lunch. Thank you all for attending this morning's course on concealed handgun carry. We're going to do our Stop the Bleed course at this point. Stop the Bleed is a conglomeration of organizations that have put this presentation together, and the American College of Surgeons, Committee on Trauma, American College of Emergency Physicians, and the National Association of EMTs, along with, more importantly, the Committee on Tactical Combat Casualty Care. They have been generating data since 1967 regarding firearms accidents and deaths attributed to hemorrhage from firearms, shrapnel, explosions, so definitely combat oriented, and that's where all this started from. The commercial tourniquets were not generally available before Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. That's when the commercial tourniquets got the bulk of their use, but the data has been generated since 1967 during the Vietnam War. They started keeping data on amputations and hemorrhaging from gunshot wounds and explosions and incendiary devices and the like. Some of the images that we'll show you today are a little bit disturbing, but I do want you to be cognizant and aware of what a firearm will do to human tissue, human flesh. This is not a toy. This is something that is meant for destruction and protection, of course, and defense, but it will destroy tissue, and anything that you're not willing to destroy, you should not be pointing the gun in that direction. So I'm going to show you some of those photos later. The number one cause of preventable death after injury is hemorrhage. Very, very important. Hemorrhage or bleeding. I am a physician, guys, so if I am saying some things that, if I get too medical in my terminology, please let me know so I can back that down and explain what I'm talking about. I usually use words like perfusion, which means blood flow to tissue. So I apologize for that. I just did get into physician teaching mode, and that physician teaching mode usually pushes me to use the language that I've paid thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars for to learn. So I will use those occasionally. So just let me know if that becomes an issue or a problem. I would like to make this as clear and succinct a presentation as possible, but I want you to understand it and to give you practical applications in case you are injured or a loved one is injured, or a community member is injured, that you can become an active bystander. You can jump in and help someone, okay? Where can I use the training that I'm receiving today? Any of these places you'll be able to use your training, right? Home, work, school. Of course, if gunshot wounds happen, automobile accidents, natural disasters, right? And we're smack dab in the middle of hurricane season, just started. So these skill sets will allow you to help your community in many different situations. It's not just gunshot wounds and stab wounds. It's falls from ladders, fall from height, all right, can also do it. But the commonality to all of those injuries are hemorrhaging or bleeding. And if we can identify the bleed and then stop the bleed, then we have gone a long way into prolonging that person's life and getting them to a level 1 trauma center that the trauma surgeons can actually hopefully save their life. Okay, so first thing is you need to be able to identify what and recognize what a life-threatening bleed is. How do we do that, right? We look at blood volume, we look at injury site, we look to see if there's pumping blood or spurting blood. That means it could be arterial. If it's a venous cut, it may just be darker blood, but it will come out as stream, not with a pulse to it, just a stream, okay? The other thing, major bleeding may be hidden by clothing that we're wearing. We're wearing big puffy jackets in the winter, sweatshirts. We need to make sure and check, are those garments soaked all the way through and through, and is that why we're not seeing any blood externally? So the first major sweep after any injury is going to be for blood. and major injuries, things that we can prevent this person from dying immediately. Once we recognize the bleed, we have to take steps to stop the bleed, right? Pressure can stop most bleeds. So 120 pounds of pressure with good clamshell approximation will stop most arterial bleeds. You can also stop bleeds by packing, which once you finish packing, you're going to apply pressure anyway. And then commercial tourniquets, and that's what you guys have in front of you, are Cat 7 tourniquets. The commercial tourniquets come in many different manufacturers, and also there are plenty of counterfeit, as you can imagine, on eBay and Amazon and Alibaba. There are 6 Chinese companies that are manufacturing counterfeit Cat 7 tourniquets. So they look like cat tourniquets. You buy it, you think you got a cat tourniquet, and still, until you pull it out of the package and start looking at it a little closer. On most of your tourniquets, if North American Rescuers put them out, they're going to have some embossing on the back of the buckle. And there's some embossing on the back of the buckle. You're going to have some writing on the inside of the buckle, and you're going to have this red tip technology, which North American Rescue has initiated and kind of been at the forefront of the tourniquet game. But the Chinese companies have gotten very clever on slipping these in, and people think, hey, I'm buying legitimate tourniquets. This happened to the military when they first came out. In Operation Iraqi Freedom, tourniquets were ordered, and several of them failed, right? Either the windlass broke, the strap broke, they were poor quality, poorly made, and when they started doing data on them post-injury, they found out that some of these tourniquets that they ordered were not the real deal. So the Department of Defense and the military started ordering directly from North American Rescue only, and there are ways to double check to make sure you have a good commercial tourniquet. If it costs you $1.98 on Alibaba, I can promise you it's a fake. Most of these tourniquets will cost between $26 and $32 at a reputable site. You can check on my website, noirarmory.com, N-O-I-R, armory.com. I offer good quality IFACs, but even if you do not purchase from me, I do suggest that you get it from a qualified and legitimate source. Okay? I can give you the training on it. You don't have to buy or purchase equipment from me, but I will definitely teach you how to use any equipment that you buy. So just let me know.